the incredible inventor. When you hear this sound, please turn the page. Miss I is an incredible inventor. Invisible ink is one of her most incredible inventions. Invisible ink is used to print every newspaper in Letter People Land. My ink only becomes invisible at night, says Miss I. People read their newspapers. When they have finished reading, they bring the newspapers to the printing plant. There, every night, the ink becomes invisible. It's incredible, says the printer. The newspapers become blank. I can use the same paper again and again. Each morning, the newspaper printer waits for Miss I. Miss I brings bottles of invisible ink to the printing plant. One morning, the printer looks very worried. Is anything wrong with the invisible ink? Asks Miss I. No, answers the printer. There is something wrong in my printing plant. Strange things are happening. Late at night, when no one should be here, someone is eating the paper, says the printer. Someone is using the invisible ink. Please, Miss I, can you discover what is happening? Oh no, says Miss I. I am an inventor. You need an investigator. Miss I telephones an investigator. In an instant, he arrives at the printing plant. Strange things are happening, says Miss I. Late at night, someone is eating the paper. Someone is using the invisible ink. I will find out what is happening, says the investigator. That night, the investigator hides in the printing plant. It is dark. It is quiet. Suddenly, the investigator hears crunch, crunch, crunch. He quickly turns on his flashlight. He shines the light all around the piles of paper. No one is there. The next morning, Miss I rushes to the printing plant. Strange things are happening, says the investigator. I do not know what to do. Let's try to get fingerprints, says Miss I. The investigator sprinkles fingerprint powder on the ink bottles. Then he blows off the powder. Alas, there are no fingerprints. That night, Miss I and the investigator stay in the printing plant. This time I am ready for those crunchers, says the investigator. I will catch them with this net. Suddenly, the investigator hears crunch, crunch, crunch. He runs from crunch to crunch, trying to catch something in his net. Miss I shines a flashlight from crunch to crunch. Alas, the net is always empty. After a long time, the crunching stops. Miss I shines the flashlight on the bottles of invisible ink. The bottles are empty, says Miss I. This is a good time to check for fingerprints. Alas, there are no fingerprints. There are no prints of any kind, says Miss I, to tell me who the crunchers are. I need a new incredible invention that will catch the crunchers. The next night, Miss I returns carrying bottles of ink. Where is your new, incredible invention? Asks the investigator. It is in the ink in these bottles, smiles Miss I. Invisible ink is not a new invention, says the investigator. This ink is not invisible ink, says Miss I. Tonight, you will see very strange things happen. Miss I and the investigator wait in the dark. Suddenly they hear crunch, crunch, crunch. Please turn on the flashlight, says the investigator. We do not need any light, says Miss I. We will be able to see in the dark. Strange things really are happening, says the investigator. Suddenly, the newspaper office begins to glow. There are glowing spots everywhere. Then the spots start to take shape. Look, shouts the investigator. I can see the crunchers. They are insects. The investigator catches each and every insect. Then he telephones the insect inspector. Instantly, the insect inspector arrives. She takes all the insects away in her van. Miss I, says the investigator, your new ink solved the case. How did you know what to do? Well, says Miss I, there were never any prints on the ink bottles. Therefore, I knew something was flying in and out of the bottles. Birds are too big. It had to be flying insects. Incredible, says the investigator. Please continue. The insects were very intelligent, continues Miss I. Every night, they flew into the bottles and covered themselves with invisible ink. That's the reason we couldn't see them crunching. I had to change the ink. I invented iridescent ink. It made the insects glow in the dark. Then we were able to catch them, says the investigator. Miss I, you are incredible. Miss I is still an incredible inventor. But when the investigator has a difficult case, Miss I helps him. After all, Miss I is also an incredible investigator.
I am an incredible inventor. Here am I, Miss I. In my imagination, I see inventions, so many things to try. The other day, it was raining very hard, and no one could go outside to play. So I built a new invention in the yard, and pretty soon the rain went away. It's incredible. I am an incredible inventor. Just look around and see. But my most incredible best invention is I invented me. I am an intelligent, important, ingenious, incredible inventor. Miss incredible! Inventor! Incredible inventor! Miss